going on, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 9 of Rebel Roundtable, the first official podcast of Rebel Sports Network here at UNLV. I'm your host, Maile Palacios, here with my co-host, Thomas Gobbo.
Back again, Episode 9. Next week's going to be double digits, Episode 10. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about this week.
Yep, and as usual, I will be covering UNLV athletics, but that comes after Thomas covers National.
Yep, so the biggest headline over the weekend, Rory McIlroy wins the Masters back-to-back, first time since Tiger Woods did it 25 years ago and won back-to-back in 2001 and 2002. Then Nick Faldo before him in 89 and 90, and then way before him, Jack Nicklaus, the great Jack Nicklaus in 1965 to 66. Yeah, congrats to Rory. Submitted his legacy as one of the best golfers ever, I think. And, NHL and NBA playoffs starting on Saturday, and the Golden Knights clinched last week with a Jack Eichel overtime winner to send us into the playoffs. Let's go. Hopefully we can repeat what we did in 2023, but there's a lot of other good teams out there, so we'll see.
Oh.
Then the NBA play-in starts today, which is Tuesday. The number 10 Heat playing the number 9 Hornets at 4:30. And the Blazers playing the Suns. The number 7 Blazers playing the number 8 Suns at 7 o'clock. This is going to determine who's going to be the 7th and 8th seed for the playoffs. And the number 8 seed will play the number 1 seed. And the number 2 seed will play the number 7 seed. So, tomorrow, Wednesday, the day that this is coming out, the Magic will play the 76ers at 4:30, and the Warriors play the Clippers. I don't know how the Warriors even made it back into playoff contention, but they got an injury-filled roster, but, Steph Curry, probably the greatest point guard ever, is still on that team, so they're always going to be competitive.
Wait, you made a face about the NHL playoffs and the Golden Knights. Why'd you make a face?
I don't know. I just feel that there's much more better teams than the Knights. It seems that they're lacking somewhat teammate chemistry, especially with the firing of their head coach just a week out from the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like that came out of nowhere, and it came at such a random time too. I think I was in class when I got that.
Yeah, I mean, usually you should wait till the end of the season. I don't know. It's just so random, and hardly do we see teams succeed when they bring in an interim head coach late in the season. So, but I don't know. It
kind of makes you question also what was happening behind the scenes that was so bad that they could not wait.
I don't know. Vegas is gonna gamble, so we'll see. But yeah, MLB Players of the Week for the second week of the regular season. Jose Soriano of the Angels, 2-0, 15 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, and a .60 ERA. Congrats, that's one of the bright spots for the Angels. Probably
they're first in their division for now.
Yeah, for now. And then James Wood of the Nationals, 12 of 22, which is equivalent to a .545 batting average, 6 extra base hits, 8 RBIs. He stands at really big outfielder at 6'7". That's not what I meant to say. But yeah, he does stand pretty tall out there. He's holding down the outfield for the Nationals. Although the Pirates just beat them 16-5 yesterday. So that was pretty good. But
sorry. I was like, Pirates. I don't know why. I heard Pirates, but I heard Padres.
Well, yeah.
I don't go into the Padres.
Speaking of the Padres, 2 back-to-back walk-off home runs, one being a grand slam, one being a Holy Sheets home run from Gavin Sheets, a 3-run homer to walk it off. I feel that Dan Orsillo, the play-by-play for the Padres,
I was just going to say that,
is one of the best voices in all of sports. Just his enthusiasm is just amazing. And I don't know, I want to be such a part of that, to tell your own story like that and have such enthusiasm.
That was such a fun call, too.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he had an exciting weekend, and who's having a spectacular season for the Padres, their closer, Mason Miller. 7 games, 4 saves, 7.1 innings pitched, but he's only pitching probably half an inning, the bottom of the 9th, or whatever it is. 19 strikeouts, and a donut in the ERA section. There's been some talk that he could possibly win the Cy Young as a closer. Last time we've seen a Cy Young closer winner, I believe Eric Gagne when he was with the Dodgers. Yeah,
I interviewed him.
I believe.
He's super sweet.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dodgers, number 1 in the power rankings. They're still in first, 11-4, first team to 10 wins. Mm-hmm. And then the other game, Ohtani went back-to-back. Or the other couple of games, Ohtani went back-to-back with a lead-off home run. Yeah.
Okay, real talk. And obviously I'm a Dodgers fan, but I'm going to be unbiased on this one. Do you think anyone else really has a chance? Like, obviously it's still early in the season.
No.
Well, you've heard it here first, folks. Thomas thinks no one else has a chance.
Realistically, no. Simple as that. N-O period. But, we'll see. We've seen crazier. The Blue Jays, who honestly did not have the best lineup with bats getting hot last postseason, can take the Dodgers to 7 games, then maybe anybody could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like it was like a freaking blowout any of the games. They were all close. Mm-hmm. The only one that was not close was the Brewers series, but that's okay. Like, I don't think it's that out of the realm of possibility that somebody else could come close.
Yeah, we'll see. The only other team that is 11-4 right now is the Atlanta Braves. So granted that I know in the past that they've been riddled by injuries, but granted this year they can stay healthy. Maybe we can see that they are gonna make another postseason run like they did in 2021. But we'll just have to wait and see. The Pirates are number 6 in the power rankings. 10-6. Beat the Nationals yesterday, Monday, 16-5. Paul Skeens also pitched yesterday. 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 1 home run that came in the bottom of the first to C.J. Abrams, who's having a pretty good year for the Nationals. But yeah, maybe the best game yesterday, the Yankees and the Angels probably gave us the game of the year so far. 2 former MVPs going at it. Judge 2 home runs. Mike Trout 2 home runs. Judge had a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first, and then a solo shot in the bottom of the 6th. But Trent Grisham also had 2 home runs, 3-run home run in the bottom of the 5th. Then he tied the game at 10 in the bottom of the 9th with a 2-run home run, and Trout doing what Trout does. Granted, he stays healthy. Hopefully he stays healthy. Oh! Baseball is so much better when he stays healthy.
Yelich got injured. Yeah. But it's only 10 days for now. We'll see. He'll probably get hurt again.
But yeah, 3-run home run, top of the 6th for Mike Trout. Go-ahead home run in the top of the 8th. And then Jordan Romano, who's notorious for blowing games against the Yankees specifically. I don't know if he wants to play for the Yankees or what, but just not very good against the Yankees. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, and 2 walks, including the game-losing walk-off wild pitch for Jose Caballero to score, and the Yankees win 11-10 in the 10th in the Bronx. Now we're going to talk UNLV.
Yes, starting off with UNLV and starting strong, of course, with our running Rebels. Still a bit of a tough week since the last time we mentioned, as we mentioned, dang near everyone has declared they're going to be going to the transfer portal, except Tyron Jones, who remains, and Isaac Williamson, who has yet to announce whether or not he is staying. But I do know he is back in Vegas. Don't know how long for, though. But there is no news on transfers or commits. Supposedly we were having visits from today till Sunday, like a visit every day. So we're going to see how that goes. We had TCU transfer Caden Edwards. He had a visit. He's a 6'2" guard, which is necessary to fill that giant space that Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn has left. And Howie Fleming Jr. announced, was it today? This morning, today, Tuesday, that he will be trying to enter the transfer portal, or at least trying to get another year of eligibility. And if he does, then he will be transferring. And it's open until the 21st, correct?
This weekend, or I believe next Monday, maybe? Or next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, because the next day after that is my birthday. So yeah, I should remember that. But yeah, still a lot of running Rebels still available. I know earlier this morning, or about like 30 minutes ago, Mason Abutin has committed to Weber State.
Yep.
And Damian Lillard reposted it, said, "Let's go Mace." So good luck to him in his future. Center Emmanuel Stephan has committed to play in the SEC for South Carolina. So he's only a sophomore, standing at 7 foot. Hopefully he can succeed, because I know he didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
For the Rebels last season.
A little birdie told me, though, that he kind of is lazy.
Well,
I just heard that through the grapevine. Don't come for me. But if he didn't really get much playing time in the Mountain West, I'm kind of interested to see how he's going to do in the SEC.
Yeah, we'll see. Only a sophomore, got a couple more years to go, so hopefully pull it together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But moving on to the Lady Rebels, you wrote most about this one, so I want you to cover this one.
Yep. Lady Rebels are actually making moves in the transfer portal, unlike the Running Rebels, I guess. Bergen Kennebrew and Nora Mu have joined the Lady Rebels for next season. The 5'11 guard scored 22.4 points a game in D2, or at the D2 level, shot 45% shooting, and she was on the All-American second team in the division of D2, so now she's at the D1 level playing against better competition. I'm sure she's going to be just fine under Coach Lindy LaRocque. And Nora Mu, she's entering her sophomore year. She's 6'2", which is basically the center. She most likely will be playing the center position, not the forward. But yeah, had 116 total points and 118 total rebounds. So congrats to Coach Lindy. You know how much effort she puts into this team. And she's even putting in effort in the off season, trying to get the girls back and ready for next season.
Which I'm a little bit interested about, because we saw that Roman Owen was the 6-year associate head coach. He will be leaving to become the next head coach of Quinnipiac? Quinnipiac University. So we're going to be getting a new associate head coach, and I'm interested to see how. We already know, we've spoken to Lindy, that they have great chemistry on their team. So seeing how they're going to react with a new associate head coach, seeing how they're all going to blend together next season will be interesting to see as well. Yep.
Congrats to Coach Owen, and hopefully he can build a program of his own. I know he was somewhat on the right-hand side of Lindy LaRocque. Now he'll be at the helm for Quinnipiac. So congratulations, Coach.
Yes. And then moving on to UNLV football. You're covering this.
Yeah, they have their spring game this Friday, 2 to 4. Mike Scherrer, the DC under Barry Odom, has returned to the Rebels as the linebackers coach for the next season. Trying to get that defense back and rolling, because last year it was rough. Not that good.
No, yeah.
But hopefully can bring back something.
Well, I feel like our defense was a little bit better under Odom. So is it too early or not to say that we should have better expectations for their defense?
Yeah, I believe overall they should have a better expectation for the entire season. We talked about last week that teams are leaving, and there's a couple other teams coming here, but I guess they're not as high quality. I guess North Dakota State is a high caliber opponent, but it could be the Rebels' year. So hopefully they can get it done. And then, they scrimmaged last Thursday morning. Coach Mullen said they're still looking to form an identity for this upcoming season this early in the year. And then they're going to be 3 out of the 4 games to start the season are on the road at Hawaii. Then they're at North Texas. Then they're at Akron. So they're traveling all over the place, going east to west, west to east, up and down.
Do you think this is a good thing for the team? Do you think this is a kind of a disaster way to start the season? I don't really remember. I feel like they weren't terrible on the road last season, were they? I feel like...
No, they were pretty good. I think they kicked things off against Houston last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Sam Houston?
Yeah, it's Sam Houston. Then won there. I don't know. They're playing much better opponents, I see. So... Granted, they could win these games. They can easily get a ranking in the top 25. But, of course, you have to win. But, yeah, they're playing, I believe, Memphis at home week 1. And then at Hawaii. Hawaii's up and coming in the Mountain West, surprisingly. And Akron and then North Texas, and then the other Mountain West opponents. Yeah, I don't know. Big expectations for UNLV football, that's for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned the top 25 thing, which is interesting because we had some comments about that whenever we said that UNLV should be in the top 25 last season. Season before, they were only in the top 25 for like, what, a week or two?
Yeah, I believe their highest rank was 23.
23. Oh,
I think,
shoot.
yeah,
Okay.
I think 23.
But that was just scratching the surface barely in that season, and then I don't think we ever got in the top 25 last season, did we?
No. In the coaches poll, I believe we were in the top 20s, and then the AP poll's different. The AP poll sometimes don't know what they're talking about, but that's okay.
Yeah. So yes, that is all for football, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Moving on to UNLV golf, both our men and women, well, I would say competed last week, but I guess the men are competing this week, so it's a little bit different. But last week, our women competed at the Wyoming Cowgirl Classic in Maricopa, Arizona on April 7th and the 8th. They ended up being tied for 4th place, where sophomore Amber Chen and freshman Lana Yamagata, they both shot a final round of 4 under 68, and Amber Chen must have just been going crazy those 2 days, because on Tuesday she tied a program record low for that round, and then on Wednesday she also had a top 3 finish with a career low of 10 under 206.
Yeah, she likes playing in Maricopa, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Congrats to her.
And then Lana Yamagata also tied for 25th, so we had 2 girls in the top 25 of that tournament. Classic. And next up, they will be looking to defend their conference title at the Mountain West Championship at Mission Hills Country Club in Rancho Mirage, California from April 21st to the 23rd. On the other side of things, we have our men who started competing yesterday, I believe, right?
Yep.
So it was until today, I believe.
It finished second yesterday.
Yeah.
In yesterday's action. So.
And that's even more interesting because I'll give the list of who is actually competing in this event. But yes, it is a televised event, the Western Intercollegiate in Santa Cruz, California. This will be wrapping up their regular season. And then they are competing against 14 other teams, 7 of which are top 50 teams. So we have ranked 30 USC, 35 SDSU, and 39 Washington. And then the other 4 teams are all top 25 teams. We have 13 Pepperdine, 18 Stanford, 22 Arizona, and 24 BYU. So the fact that they ended up in second yesterday.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. And speaking of being back, the lineup, we have Trevor Lewis, Zach Little, Wyatt Platner, Brett Sawaya, Mason Snyder, and Aaron Van Houve. That doesn't look like that's how that's pronounced, but I had to look it up because I didn't want another mispronunciation. I can't even remember how to pronounce the poor girl's name, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, congrats to UNLV Golf. Tournament continues today. And hopefully they can bring home that gold.
I feel like our golf team is like a really underrated team. Like, of course, everyone always pays attention to like the big 3, which is football, basketball, and baseball. But I feel like our men and women both have had a lot of success this year. Not even just the spring season, but like in total.
Yeah, the entire year.
Yeah.
They're setting conference lows and stuff like that. Yeah. Congrats. Program lows, program records. Yeah.
Yep.
Keep doing it.
Do you think they're able to defend the title, the women?
Hopefully, I hope so.
I think they can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even great to build the program going forward. We have sophomore and freshmen who are like leading the team right now. That'll be interesting to see next season. But moving into our UNLV tennis, of course, we have our men and our women competing last week. The men competed on the 9th against Air Force and won 4-1, where they had their senior night, and they honored Vitaly Horovoy, Ilya Maximchuk, and Tayo Hirano.
Good job.
Thank you. The pronunciations are written, and I still messed up, but it's okay. And then they also competed on the 11th at New Mexico and won 4-0. The women competed at home on the 10th against San Jose State and won 4-0. And then they competed at Fresno State on the 13th and won 4-1.
It was a good day for you, or a good week for UNLV athletic. Oh my gosh. UNLV
No, you got
athletics
that.
Last week. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, actually.
Everybody was getting on the win column.
Yeah, so yeah, so our women did good, tied in 4th. Our men are currently in 2nd for golf. And then tennis was undefeated last week. Softball went... I actually didn't even write the other 2 games. But they went back-to-back against New Mexico, which we'll get into in a second.
Sweeps.
And then our men will also get to, for baseball, had another great week as well. But we should probably just move into softball then, if I can find my stuff. They had a midweek doubleheader last Wednesday, April 8th at New Mexico, where Martha Hatzenbeller, she led offense with a triple, a homer, 4 RBIs, and a scored run through 2 games. Kiana Chavez and Rachel Cook both hit an even 500 on the day with doubles for both of them. And then Yanina Sherwood pitched a total of 10.2 innings. That's wild. Game 1, UNLV won 8-4, where they had 3 runs and 2 RBI singles from Rachel Cook and Natalie Turner. And then Lila Gonzalez was hit by pitch and up to the score to 4-0. Then we unfortunately gave up a homer to the Lobos, and we're still leading 4-1. Mantha came in with her 2 RBI triple, 6-1. Taryn Calderon with an RBI double, upping it to 7-1. And then the final run came from Sherelle Aki with an RBI ground out. And then they only gave up 1 run in the 6th and 2 in the 7th, with the final score of 8-4. Game 2 on the day, where UNLV won 3-2, was a little bit less action-packed, but they were tied 1-1 until the 4th, when Hatzenbeller hit an RBI double to grab the lead 8-2, and then New Mexico tied it again on a UNLV error, but it's okay. Hatzenbeller walked it off with a homer, 3-2, and that is back-to-back. Series
Back-to-back
sweeps.
Series sweeps. They hosted Utah State here and beat them 7-4 and then 12-8 over the weekend. Back-to-back series sweeps, back-to-back Mountain West Series. Yep. Back-to-back Mountain West Series sweeps, and they are 3rd in the Mountain West at 11-5, only behind UNR and Grand Canyon. And yeah, Grand Canyon University is 41-4. Holy moly! So they'll definitely have a tall task when they play them. That's for sure. And they do play them. Not Boise State, but the series after them in Grand Canyon. So
yes.
Good luck to them.
I'm trying to find the other 2 games, because I know they played 2 more. Pretty sure they played 2 more games. I just unfortunately did not write them down. Oh yes, they competed against Utah State and won 7-4 last Saturday, which was the 11th, where, oh my goodness, Mata Hatzenbeller again, Rachel Cook and Lila Gonzalez, they led at the plate for UNLV against Utah State. Hatzenbeller went 2-for-4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. So she ripped a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 5th and then had a double in the 4th. Cook was 2-for-3 on the day and had a walk and scored a run for the Rebels. Gonzalez was also 2-for-3 and had a 3-run homer for her first collegiate home run. And then, of course, Lauren Fedek, a name we all know for UNLV softball, who is just known to be amazing in the circle. I was going to say on the mound. It's not technically... Is it a mound? Yeah, but I feel like for softball, usually say like in the circle, you know? She had her first win in relief for the Rebels, so she is now 10-7 overall in the season. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday, it's not here. It says they competed against Boise State, but there is no stats.
Oh, nice.
We love.
Love when they provide us with the right information.
But it's okay. So we all know our UNLV softball is doing very well currently, and we are hoping that they do well the rest of the season. But moving into our UNLV baseball, they had an amazing week up in Arizona, or down in Arizona? Mm-hmm. That's south, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, south of... So on April 8th, they competed at number 20 ASU and won 7-5. Definitely one of the most impressive wins of the season, and this was the first ranked win for UNLV since last year when they knocked off number 25 Indiana twice, and then number 25 Cincinnati, and then this was their highest over a top 20 club since 2019. So they fell behind at first, but then Marcos Rosales, of course, because everyone knows Marcos Rosales is capable of what he does, he responded with a 2-run homer, his 7th of the season. Then in the 4th inning, they had a 3-run surge with a 2 RBI double from Gavin Taylor, and then ASU they had an error. So they extended our lead 5-1, and then a wild pitch in the 5th brought in another run from Johnny Rodriguez. ASU unfortunately added 4 runs to make the score 6-5, but UNLV had to make sure to add that insurance run with a Reggie Bussey sac bunt, and then of course Marcos Rosales to score. And this was a pretty wild pitching lineup. I mean, that was the tale of 2 games this week, where they just used a lot of pitchers. Felix On started off the game, and then Colton Sundeloff, Tate Foxen, Jacob Gomberg, LJ Manning, and Jace Evangelista came in for relief. Jace Evangelista ended up, receiving that win with the 8th and 9th innings, and then this was the highest ranked win for UNLV in 7 years.
Yeah, I'd say my player of the game is Jace and Evangelista. That's such, I don't know.
Jace Evangelista, yes.
Evangelista, yeah, player of the game for sure. Coming in the back half of the game, the crunch time.
Yes.
1.2 innings pitched and 4 strikeouts against number 20 ASU.
Yes, and then Gavin Taylor went 2 for 3 on the day, so congrats to Gavin Taylor. Then they ended up, so they actually got to Arizona last Tuesday night, and they didn't get back until Sunday because they had a 3-game series against GCU that went from the 10th through the 12th, and then they had their series opener on the 10th where they won 13-8. Parker Dillhoff started off on the mound. He went 3 innings but allowed 5 earned runs they just fell behind, unfortunately. But then a 2-run homer from Jaden Hurdle grabbed the lead 2-1. GCU tied it, and then they led 4-2. Cooper Sheff came up with a 3-run homer, his 7th of the season, in the 3rd, and they grabbed the lead again 5-4. Then GCU tied it and then grabbed the lead 6-5. And then we had RBI singles from Aiden Garcia and Jaden Hurdle that allowed UNLV to lead 8-6. GCU scores 1 in the 5th, and then Drew Berrigan, his 8th homer of the season for 3 runs and leading 11-7. And then the biggest fish, Jack Salmon, was hit by pitch to force in another run by Cooper Sheff, 12-7. GCU tried to close that deficit but only got 1 additional run, 12-8. And then Aiden Garcia earned it back with an RBI double for Drew to score, and that's how we ended up getting that 13-8 win. But Ryan Martone, he is our little Canadian on the team. He grabbed the win in relief, pitching 2 innings, allowing 2 hits, 1 unearned run, and 3 strikeouts. And then Yates Bland came in with his first save of the season, pitching 3.1 innings, striking out 4, 1 earned run, and no walks.
Yeah, very good game from Yates Bland. His first relief appearance, and he gets his first save.
And then, of course, our cardiac hustlin' Rebels know how to make things interesting. Specifically Johnny Rodriguez, because this is the second time that he's done this season. He got hit by a pitch. Pitcher doesn't really react at first. Johnny stares down pitcher. Johnny stares down everyone. And nothing ended up really coming from it for UNLV, because I'm pretty sure Coach Rush just Johnny, get to first. Just get to first. But what did end up happening was the GCU catcher ended up getting ejected instead, because he was talking and being I'm assuming, obviously you can't hear the kid, but he's probably why does he get to say stuff, Yeah. And then he was told multiple times, you could see they were showing him the ump, and the ump just ended up saying which is a little bit silly, because 2 seconds later, they cut away from the ump, they come back, and he's all smiles with the new catcher. He's hey, nice to see you. And the commentators were oh, he's happy now. But that's not our problem.
No.
Drew Berrigan extended his on-base streak to 17 games. And he had 3 RBIs in the game. I'm assuming that came from his home run, because it was a 3-run homer. So, yeah. And then on the 11th, it was just a little bit flat of a game. You could tell UNLV didn't really play their best. This was the second time that they had only scored 1 run in a game. They lost 6-1. But Connor Talixon, he is a catcher. He had his first RBI single of the season, so his first run driven in this season, and he allowed for Nin Burns the second to score. That was the only run of the night. And Carson Lane had a season-high 8 strikeouts, going 4 innings and giving up 5 hits, but only 1 earned run. And then, again, another very interesting game where you bring in a lot of pitchers. 6-pitcher game for UNLV, starting off with Carson Lane, going into LJ Manning, Colton Sundeloff, Cody Albright, Jacob Gomberg, and Gavin Bowen. Yeah. Obviously, we know that our team is very strong when it comes to offense. This was just not one of those games, unfortunately, because it's not very often that we see our Rebels score so low, you know? But I think what really needs to happen, like, it comes down to the pitchers. And I hate to say that because I know our pitchers really do work hard, but I've kind of just been told from sources that it's the pitching coaches. Like, they know. I know one of the pitchers, and he says that he knows one of his pitches does not work, and he knows it's not, like, breaking the way that it needs to, and they still call the pitch for him. Just a little birdie. Just been told. But it's okay. They ended up coming back on the 12th with a 14-8 win over the Lopes, and they just wasted no time getting down to business. Marcos Rosales with a leadoff triple in the first inning, and then Drew Berrigan brought him home with an RBI double into right field for an early 1-0 lead. And then in the third inning, Johnny Rodriguez had a clutch 2 RBI single to right field, scoring Reggie Bussey and Marcos Rosales, pushing that lead to 3-0. And then Grand Canyon, of course, they had to answer back with a 2-run homer, but it's okay because the Rebels responded again. In the 5th inning, 5 runs on 5 hits, Aiden Garcia with a 2-run homer, Jack Salmon with an RBI single, Jaden Hurdle with a 2-run single that stretched the lead 8-2. But then, of course, the Lopes attempted to fight back, scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th with a 2-run homer from someone. And then they made the score 8-5, but again, UNLV had to answer. And our Hustlin' Rebels had 4 more runs in the 6th inning with Nin Burns II with a 2 RBI double and Jack Salmon with a 2-run RBI single. And then that got the score to 12-5. And then, of course, Grand Canyon has to make things interesting, but not before UNLV added their insurance in the 8th inning with 2 RBI singles from Salmon and Bussey. So, another strong win. They ended up winning the series, which is great for our Rebels because
I believe they're 6th in the Mountain West right now, 5-7 Mountain West record. But a good overall record, just not a good Mountain West record. But hopefully they can improve coming up here.
Yes,
later in the year.
They are behind. So New Mexico's first, then Nevada, Air Force, Washington State, San Diego State, us. And then San Jose State, Grand Canyon, and Fresno State. So you're right, we are 5-7, which is why we're behind both Washington State and San Diego State and Air Force. Because their overall record, so again, New Mexico has an overall record of 22-12-1, which I didn't even know you could tie in baseball.
Me either.
I don't know how that happened.
Maybe a no contest? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Maybe something happened. They just had to end it early. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it did go extra innings, so that's why I'm confused as to why that game had gotten tied, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Shout out Air Force. I mean, what are they, 3rd?
Yeah.
3rd. That's where Paul Skeens went before going to LSU. So, I guess I got a good baseball program over there.
Okay. Reno is 19-14. Air Force is 16-18. Washington State, who we play this weekend at home, so make sure you come out for those games. I think they're Friday, Saturday 6:05, and then Sunday is 12:05. Washington State is 19-17 overall, and we are 21-15. And then San Diego State is 19-18 as well. So I'm more so interested to see, do you think beating that ranked team kind of set the energy moving forward? Because, again, I feel like they had been struggling since that Air Force series, a month ago. Do you think that beating a ranked team is able to get them the confidence that they need to keep going in the season?
Well, I 100% hope so.
I mean, yeah.
Especially if you beat a ranked opponent in there.
At home.
Exactly. At their ballpark.
Yeah.
It should definitely give you the confidence to boost yourself to more wins and overall better morale, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope so, because even the 2 wins that they got against GCU this week, those were pretty good wins. Like, they weren't that close. And, of course, it's kind of hard to sweep a series, I feel like. So, I'm not surprised that they lost that second game. But, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see going into Washington State this weekend. But do you think that this team is still a contender in the Mountain West? I know it's like everyone's going to end up going to Arizona, but it's about where they end up placing in the rankings and the brackets, of course. But do you think they are a contender, or do you think they're still kind of a step away?
Well, I mean, it is still, I guess, early on in the season.
We're in the bottom half.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, they just have to gel together and get that teammate chemistry back together. Hopefully figure things out in the bullpen, because it seems that the starters are really, shoving on the mound. Just when things turn to the bullpen, it gets a little shaky.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I sure hope so.
I also hope so.
Regardless, all you have to do is make the playoffs, and then you do damage in the playoffs no matter what seed you are. So
yeah. Actually, forgot to say, they played today, the day that we're recording this, Tuesday. They play at Utah Tech. They left not too long ago, actually. So they'll be getting there, and then they play at 5:05. Then that's one game. The next 3 games will be at home against Washington State. Then they have a 3-game series against UNR next weekend. They have another game against Utah Tech on the 28th. 3-game series against Milwaukee. 1-off game against BYU. 3-game series against Fresno State. And then they close out the regular season against San Diego State May 14th, 15th, and 16th. So definitely in the bottom half of the season, but
sure.
What? Well, okay. I have no idea if Milwaukee is good or not, but San Diego State is only ranked 1 above us, and then Fresno State is last in the conference. So hopefully we can beat them. Oh, how did they tie? They are 1-10-1 in conference play.
Hey.
So, in theory, we should. Yeah, in theory we should have that game on lock. But I guess we'll have to see. But I think that's all for us this week on Rebel Roundtable. I have been your host, Maile Palacios, here with my co-host, Thomas Gobbo.
Yep, been an excellent week for UNLV athletics last week, but hopefully they can pick things up. UNLV golf, and hopefully the Running Rebels can figure it out. UNLV football gets grooving again, and we will see y'all next week.
See you next week. Bye.